Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Candy Hough, and through my business, Angel Healing House, I'm a licensed Reiki Master Teacher, an angel practitioner, an international radio host on Angel Healing House Blog Talk Radio, and as an author and also a writer, I have the infinite joy and the honor of being able to channel angel messages, in particular from my angel family who are called the Posse of Angels. Now, in today's video, the Posse of Angels wants to commend so many of us for just how much we've enlightened and now are living lives of peace, acceptance, non-judgment, and unconditional love. Now, having cleared and cleansed our issues, many of us no longer allow disrespectful and dishonoring people to be a part of our lives. But what happens when that person who is disrespecting and dishonoring us is one's grown child? I was presented with this question by a client who came for a healing session with me. Jean, now this is not her real name, Jean had told me that she had been a devoted, loving mother to her daughter, and she admitted that her daughter's birth was one of the happiest days of her lives. Yet along with the joy of motherhood, she also told me that she had endured an abusive marriage for 26 years because she didn't want her child to experience a broken home. But after a lifetime of abuse, Jean finally honored herself and decided to divorce when her daughter was grown at the age of 20. Jean was prepared for the challenges that she would have to face, both financially and emotionally, to end her long-standing marriage. But what she was not prepared for was the abuse and dishonor that came from her daughter. Jean said that although she was loving and respectful toward her daughter hurled abusive comments at her and treated her with disrespect. Jean went on to say that the comments were so awful that she would not have expected this kind of behavior from her worst enemy. Through tear-filled eyes, Jean said that several years ago her daughter chose to sever all ties with her, and recently she found out that her daughter was getting married and Jean was not invited to the wedding. Deeply downhearted that she would not see her only daughter wed, she asked how she could best deal with her daughter's decision without destroying her own soul. I answered Jean's question in part by reading her a portion from a book entitled The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Written in 1923, this book is just as fresh and relevant in today's world. In his section on children, he writes, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor remains with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth." I went on to explain to Jean that once the arrow is shot from the safety of an archer's steady, guiding bow, the arrow must then fly forth on its own and has to deal with all kinds of things along its journey. Things like how the arrow deals with weather conditions or obstacles that block its path are all unknown quantities and can only be addressed once the arrow leaves the safety of the bow. And so it is with our grown children. They are not yours, and the reason one is experiencing any kind of hurt or disappointment or frustration with one's grown children is that one is assuming some sort of expectation that should come from their child. Perhaps one assumes that with all they sacrificed for their children and gave to them, they should act or speak in a certain way. My angelic family, the Posse of Angels, is reminding us that there are no shoulds, there are no have-tos, and there certainly are no ought-tos in this world. The more we respect and honor and allow someone else, including our grown children, to walk their journey exactly as they choose, the more we free ourselves then to walk our own journey, unencumbered by expectations. And while we allow them grown-up freedoms in their choices, I told my client Jean that if a grown-up child's behavior is not respectful towards us, then it would be highly beneficial to draw boundaries and set limits and not allow the child to dishonor us in any way, just like we would do with any other person in our life. I explained to Jean that her daughter's actions and what she says actually have nothing to do whatsoever with Jean. The anger, the sadness, and the pain inside her child are emotions that she is replaying, and she chooses to replay and hang on to in order for her to be right and to justify her disrespectful behavior towards her mother. I shared with her that I have counseled many divorced couples and families, and while it's not emotionally easy for anyone, in time with mutual respect and open understanding, all parties have been able to move forward and honor each other's choices. To help us allow our children to make their own choices, I pointed out to my client that it helps enormously to understand why that child is in our lives from a higher perspective. The Posse of Angels are chiming in, and they're reminding us that before we incarnated, each and every one of us met with the Etheric Council. This is a wise, sage group of ascended beings who once lived on the earth plane. Having had the benefit of experiencing a human life, they help us to write our contract for our incarnations in our book of life. As we begin our contract, we pick not only the souls that we want to be in our lives to help us learn our lessons, but we choose their characteristics as well. And though it is hard to believe, many times we will choose a soul's characteristics to be in great contrast to our own. Our most important lessons often come as a direct result of having chosen someone with a deep, contrasting characteristic. These deep contrasts help to challenge and test us to see whether we will still forgive and love that person unconditionally. Now, the Posse of Angels wants to make it very clear here that one does not have to accept or put up with someone's damaging behavior in order to love and to forgive them. When I asked Jean to consider that she chose her daughter's behavior to help her in some way, she actually started to smile. She said that in her abusive marriage, she never could speak up for herself, and she was a silent victim. But she told me that from the moment her daughter could speak, the daughter was outspoken and forthright, and Jean used to marvel at her young, empowered daughter, and she found herself wishing that she was more like her. I laughed and I told her that many times, by our children, we will be taught. But as our children become grown adults, they are just like the arrow that needs to go forth and fly unaided by the archer. Yes, we can give them love and support and even an occasional kind-hearted advice, but ultimately they are not our children. They are separate souls with their own divine imprint, and they need to have the freedom of choice that we struggled and pushed so hard for as young adults. Once Jean understood to let go of any expectations from her grown child, she felt as if a huge burden had been lifted from her shoulders, and she experienced a newfound freedom. And even with all of these angel insights, my client Jean will still not be at her daughter's wedding, for she has no control over this. But what she does have control over is whether she chooses to destroy her own soul with sadness, or whether she chooses to send her daughter prayers of love and healing and wishes her a blessed heavenly marriage. By sending her daughter these loving energies, Jean will be giving a beautiful gift, not only to her daughter, but to herself and to the planet as well. Feeling so much better and more empowered after our session, I told Jean that on the day of her daughter's wedding, to plan something special for herself. I suggested that she go out and celebrate not only the gift of motherhood that she chose, but to celebrate how much of a wonderful, loving mother she was to her daughter, and that she has full control over. Thank you, everyone, for visiting my YouTube channel and coming once again to share the thoughts of the Posse of Angels and myself. I wish you an absolutely beautiful day and to go out and fashion a beautiful life for yourself. Love and blessings to you all until we meet again on my YouTube channel. Take care. Bye.